Morton's hydrogel technology delivers carbs your body can actually use fast and with no stomach issues. It's trusted by the world's best cyclists. Fuel smarter. Get 20% off at Morton.com with code MortonTDF. Dun, 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 dun. The bald mountain approaches the Mont Ventoux, but delivered in Unipuerto fashion. You say, Lanterne, this is a Vuelta stage. It's not a Vuelta stage. It's a Tour de France stage. They're doing it a Unipuerto style. And with that flat start, we had a lot of riders trying to get in the breakaway. I mean, Tudor, they got in with Haller, Hirschi, and Mercer. I've said about 20 times Riesbeck's in this race. He's not in this race. And so those teams, it's very peculiar when teams do this. A break of 3, it's not gonna make it. So why block? By blocking and then maybe letting UAE control, you help UAE and Pollitt control the stage for the 99% chance that Pogacar wins the stage. Look, UAE with Pollitt, they're marking counter moves. They are very happy with a 3-man breakaway, and when, I think it's de Letron, Total looks at Pollitt, Pollitt shakes his head saying, I'm not going to relay. And what Pollitt's doing here is totally legitimate. Totally legitimate. He can mark who he wants and follow their wheel and discourage them. And then UAE quite quickly come to the front with Pogacar, and then they're going for the yellow jersey is going to go on P, and they're happy with this break. They're saying this is the break formation's over, and then they can control for the stage. Pogacar goes in P's, and actually there was no jumping. The peloton respected that, but I was thinking, this can't be the break. What, 20 teams missed it? Everyone knows Pogacar's going to win if you don't get in the breakaway. You know, Movistar, FDJ needs something, and Jayco break the deadlock. Plapp and Schmidt go. UAE react hard. It actually split the peloton into groups that even UAE were getting in, but now Pollitt is frustrated. He starts giving a serve to Castrillo and Ina Rubio, saying, break formation's over. You shouldn't be jumping. Frank Vandenbroek's kind of laughing at him. And Soler's just marking everybody, but it gets worse. Then Garcia Cortina goes, Pollitt jumps in the wheel, and then he starts giving Ivan Romeo a serve. But you got to understand it from Pollitt's perspective. He's paid a lot of money. He can't ride in the peloton. He had a paid vacation on week 1. His one job is to control the stage so Pogacar can win on the mountaintop finishes, and he messed it up on stage 14. And so when there's jumping, he's kind of freaking out. And Guillaume Bovin says, we're not listening to you. And then it was very, very amusing when the break of 3 get caught, and the actual break of the day is a huge break of like 35 plus riders, including 3 quick-steppers. They got a tug buddy too, Pascal Encorn for Valentin Paris-Pantra and Ilan van Wilder, their 2 best climbers left in the race. But, you know, for UAE, it's no problem. They got Sivakov in the break, they got Soler in the break, they got 2 satellite riders, Ben Healy's in for EF Education for Easy Post, Benoit and Campenuts are in there for Visma, but it's a big break, and it's going to be hard, nigh on impossible for one rider to control. So Pollitt's day got a lot harder now with this breakaway to manage, and it gets a big gap. One group, Fuga de la Fuga with Arensman, they're on 6:33 by the base of Ventoux. And it's a bit harsh when it's a 16k climb. It's like a 20k climb from Bedouin. We see the shape of the formation, peloton change. Our Visma Lisa bike with Vingegaard going to try something. Encorn drops out of the Fuga and starts to pace. Enric Mas goes clear at the bottom, wanting to get away. But Visma, they take control with Van Aert at the bottom. They start setting a pace. And the half an hour, maybe 50-minute battle between Valentin Paris-Pantra and Ben Healy begins, which was very, very entertaining. But you'll see that Ilan van Wilder's on Healy's wheel, so Quickstep are working over those riders. And then Sepp Kuss takes over after Van Aert finishes his pull. The Eagle of Durango, cue the eagle sounds. He's back cooking on the front. Simon Philip Yates in his wheel. Narvaez's gone, so Pogacar getting a little bit isolated, but he's got teammates in front. So Sivakov and Soler there in front, although then Yates is gone, and then he's got Adam Yates with him. So Pogacar's not getting outnumbered, still looking very relaxed under this tempo. The GC group's about 10 riders, but then the pace stalls. Kuss has been pacing for 20 minutes or so. Carlito Rodriguez attacks, and then the inevitable happens. Vingegaard launches his attack on the steeper slopes before Chalet Renard, because when they turn left and exit Chalet Renard, it's not as steep. It's 6-7%, and there's a big headwind. And so Vingegaard tries here. Was Pogacar bluffing? Was he suffering? I mean, we're kind of reduced to analysing facial expressions. He was never on a gap either, and then he looks a lot more comfortable in Vingegaard's wheel afterwards. Whilst Ben Healy, I mean, an Irishman / Brummy, Colombian and a Frenchman walk into a Chalet Renard and a disagreement unfolds because Ben Healy's like, guys, we got to get to the top. We're on 4 minutes, and Vingegaard has 2 teammates in front. He's attacking. Pogacar's going to go maybe counter him. If we want to win the stage, we have to cooperate. Benoit starts nuking in front of Vingegaard on the 10% section. Pogacar still looks pretty comfortable. Lipovic and Roglic start trying to work over poor old Oscar Onley, who does admirably. Vingegaard goes again, but this time Pogacar looks under much less pressure. And so where's Vingegaard going to go? And when he looks behind and sees Pogacar's still there. So not an inch budged by Pogacar, although Visma were trying to put him under pressure. Campenaerts waits ahead. He'll start to pull the headwind section. Ben Healy just continues himself. He's like, well, if you're not going to pull, I'm just going to consolidate my GC position and maybe battle it out 1v1 at the finish. Bora were actually doing the same tactics as Visma. It wasn't on TV much, but Bora played this stage perfectly. And since, they had a bit of a shocker at the start of week 1, Bora have been excellent the last 6 or 7 stages, I would say. And their GC position is looking excellent. Meanwhile, ahead in Group 1, there's still no cooperation. They've caught Enric Mas, Santi's dropped, and now there comes another attack from Vingegaard after Campenaerts pace for a while. They're within 2.5 minutes of the front of the race. But fortunately for them, Vingegaard gives Pogacar the chicken wing, and Pogacar doesn't relay. We were maybe expecting a counter. Pogacar probably wanted to win this stage of an iconic finish. We don't know when the next mountaintop finish will be. We don't see that Roglic has attacked Onley, and Onley's trying to chase him with Lipovic on the wheel. They're still finessing in front. Then Healy takes over. Then he's like, please pull. They finesse him some more. Mas and Buitrago come back. And now the big problem's coming for that front group. Pogacar attacks Jonas Vingegaard. He had to go out and try. Was that a Port Adelaide jersey on that bloke on the left? And Vingegaard responds, even gives him a counter attack. And I'm sorry, I'm really thrown by the Port Adelaide jersey. I mean, what's it doing on Ventoux? But they stop again. 800 meters to go. But they're stopped in front. It was so entertaining. But where does he come from? Cue the Undertaker music. Ilan van Wilder returns to the front, the teammate of VPP, and they know, VPP knows, the others may not know, VPP is fast, and if they can just get it to the final 300, when Ben Healy leads him out, not many people can actually beat VPP's uphill kick, and he goes around Ben Healy to take the first French stage win of this year's Tour de France, the 4th stage win for Soudal Quickstep, a bit further behind, only 40 seconds behind. Pogacar attacks in the last 250 meters and puts Vingegaard on a couple of seconds in the sprint. But here's the stage results. VPP wins a big stage for Quickstep and France ahead of Ben Healy. Buitrago third, then Van Wilder. Pogacar and Vingegaard were 43 and 45 seconds behind. In terms of GC, the big change is Roglic goes ahead of Vauquelin, who lost a lot of time today. Lipovic takes more time on Onley. Roglic inches closer to Onley. So Red Bull, white jersey's looking good. Ben Healy, despite not winning the stage, he takes a good 3-4 minutes on Carlos Rodriguez and moves back into ninth. Hope you enjoyed the recap. Ciao, ciao.